low-key faded, bro.
Highway.
What's this guy supposed to be, the ultimate badass?
They ain't ready. They ain't ready, Jim. They ain't ready. Here we go.
I'm gonna go out here, guys.
What is it? You ain't Mexican. What is that?
I missed it a little bit though, so I dig a little deep in there, right? But yeah, he did that.
He's in the building!
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of the Frisco Report.
We're live and effective as the show of shows. It's a big one, everybody. It is Cowboys Free Agent Frenzy. We get to get our thoughts out there with you guys, and it's going to be a good show, man. We got a lot of breaking news coming out. Let's get right into it, Mike. Max Crosby with the Ravens deal canceled, bro. Can you believe it?
You know, big shout out to Charlene Evans. When we were talking about this the other day on Friday, I believe it was, she brought up his chronic knee issues, bro. And the Ravens said, you know what? I don't want to indulge in this knee. I'm out. That's that's significant. That is insane. The value of Max Crosby from one organization went from 2 first to peanuts, bro.
Yeah, man, and it does look like it is real. Cowboys, according to Diana Rossini, the Dallas Cowboys are not expected to re-engage a Matt Crosby trade discussions at this time. A high-ranking source tells The Athletic. So it looks like the Cowboys are not, in fact, going to re-engage. A lot of us kind of jumped the gun here, thinking, "What if?" Right? Well, it looks like that "what if" is gone. But what is on the table now that is being reported here by Nick Harris? We have an interested party in Osa Odighizuwa, a former defensive coach. Could it be the 49ers, bro? Who is it? Is it Dan Quinn? Is it? I mean, it has to be one or the other, right, Mike? Well, what's your thoughts on that there?
I mean, you look at, the 3-4 defense and you look at Osa Odighizuwa, he's just not a fit in this system at all. I mean, you look at the guy that you just brought in. We'll talk about him later, but he's a big guy, a behemoth. And Osa just doesn't fit that. And you can't have, shout out to Danny Savage, he always talks about having too many one-techs. And we have a lot of one-techs on this team. And Christian Parker obviously does not like that. And so I feel like the Dallas Cowboys Osa's the odd man out. He's a contract casualty, and they have to get rid of that contract somehow.
They have to get rid of him, period. He's not really a fit, hasn't been a fit. Looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. All right. So he definitely looks like the prototypical defensive lineman, right? I mean, he's cut, big, got the long arms. He just looks like somebody who's going to be a problem, right? But more often than not, he starts kind of hot, disappears. He disappears for weeks at a time, and then maybe he'll have a splash play here or there, and then the fans are like, "Oh yeah, Osa." But looking at the overall, his overall work, it doesn't match, and it definitely doesn't match that contract. So, is that going to be the sticking point? There is like, how do you move him with that contract, Mike?
Yeah, you have to obviously they traded Amari Cooper to save $20 million to get out of that contract. So whenever it's time to trade for Osa, they have to strategize with the trading team how the salary will work. Now, if Cowboys are desperate enough to get rid of Osa, they will eat some of that guaranteed money, and he'll be a big cap hit on the books, right? If they don't want to, and the team is desperately needing Osa, they'll say we'll take on that whole entire contract. Now, if the Dallas Cowboys want to trade player for player, so let's say Patrick Queen, for example, right? I'll just use the Steelers linebacker that I know is on the trading block. Let's say his salary is the same as Osa's. Now they can just switch players. Steelers take on Osa's contract. Cowboys take on Patrick Queen's contract. No harm, no foul. But they have to negotiate this now, and that could hurt you with trade value. So let's say, Joe, you want Osa, and you don't want to take on that contract, but I'm demanding like a 4th round pick, right? I could, as Cowboys, I can say, well, I'll just give you a 7th, give you Osa, and you take on the contract. So there's many ways of doing it. It's just how the Cowboys and the trading organization want to go about it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Hypothetically, let's just say hypothetically it was the 49ers. And it is like a player for player kind of deal. You know, you have to look at that roster and be like, you know, what would be something fair? You know what I mean? What is a need that the Cowboys have? That would you know, you give away a player and you get something back in return. You know what I mean? So linebacker, right? I think is at the top of it. You know, can you get one of their linebackers in the trade? You know, I'm not talking Fred Warner, obviously, although I wouldn't mind him, but there's no way they do that. It would probably be for like one of these backup type of dudes, you know, that they have on their roster, or maybe a cornerback, a backup cornerback, a nickel back, somebody like this. So we'll see what happens there, Mike. But 49ers roster, not too impressive, honestly. Maybe they get a backup center or some crap like that, or who knows, man. But just kind of looking at the roster. I mean, coaching matters there with the 49ers, but the talent, you know, I don't know if there's anybody worth trading for over there right now. So could it be the Washington Commanders? Could that be the team that's interested? It might be somebody that Dan Quinn likes, you know, coached them for a few years here in Dallas. So maybe that's the connection. Maybe
Who's their
that's
new defensive coordinator? Because if Joe Witt was there, I could connect the dots, but I know Joe Witt got fired. So does the new defensive coordinator have any connections to Osa? Or does Dan Quinn have that, not giving that his DC coordinator the tools to build his own team on defense? So I don't know. That's going to be interesting, Joe.
Washington Commanders depth chart. Yeah. Who would they have, dude? Nothing too impressive. Trying to just look over this.
Over what, Joe?
What they got? I'm just looking over their roster here. They got a lot of free agents. Yeah, who knows, man? But anyway, Osa Odighizuwa, apparently he's on the trading block. Cowboys are looking to move him. You know, I don't think they'll cut him. If they don't find a suitor, they'll probably just keep him. You know what I mean? But we'll see what comes of it, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, could it be Chicago? You know what I mean? You've got our former coach over there too. I mean, he's kind of been elevated over there, right? Al Harris, right, over there in Chicago. I think it'd be a good fit over there in Chicago. You know, so we'll see what happens with Osa, bro. But let's talk about our signings, bro. All right, the first signing of the free agency frenzy, bro. Started out kind of slow, but then we had to trade, right? I don't count that as free agency, but we did trade for Rashawn Gary, right? So they kind of came out the blocks kind of slow, but then they signed Jalen Thompson, the safety, bro. So we talked about him here last week, potential signing, and it came to fruition, bro. So I like that pick there, dude. He's definitely an upgrade over Donovan Wilson, and then these other guys. Malik Hooker got contract redone. So what's your thought on that, bro?
Oh, it's a big upgrade over Y.A. Thomas and Wilson, dude. You talk about, Jalen Thomas. Shout out to you, Joe. You mentioned him on the Mock 3 free agency, Frisco Report edition. Not a lot of people were talking about Jalen Thompson, but we were right here on the Frisco Report. And
That's right.
and everything that we said, everything that you said involving Jalen Thompson, everyone just started regurgitating. It's like, we already talked about that. That's nothing new to me. I text Fifth Quarter Cowboys, said Joe got his guy. Super pumped about that. This right here, I think, was the most significant move regarding it, because safety, you let Y.A. Thomas walk, you let Donovan Wilson walk, and there's a big void there at the strong safety spot. This right here, not only did it fill the void, but I know we're going to be solid there for the next 3 years.
Yeah. So solid signing there, much needed. Really can play all over the field. Now, the other one that was pretty significant too, Mike, PJ Locke, another safety out of Denver. So a guy that really likes to body players, bro. So I think you get physical with both of these guys right off the rip. Jalen Thompson, especially PJ Locke, right? PJ Locke, he's almost like another linebacker type of dude out here. So I think they got a steal on him. And that's one that you had on your list, Mike. So talk about PJ Locke a little bit, Mike.
Yeah, PJ Lott. And I said this ain't gonna be a bang for the buck guy. Said that a week ago today. And obviously it's a 1 year, $3 million deal. He did have the back fusion early last year. Obviously, that's expected to be healed with the contract. And then you look at his special teams play. You look at the way if Jalen Thompson plays the nickel, Joe, which that's anticipated for him to be playing some nickel, PJ Locke goes up there at the strong safety spot and helps with that. So not only do you got Malik Hooker, PJ Locke, and you got Jalen Thompson on the field at one time, you still got Siobhan Revel and you got Deron Bland as well. So Cowboys playing with house money, Joe, on this defense side of the ball. I like the signings, Joe. I like our safeties. We called it last week that this could be a potential signing, and they did it.
I love it, bro. I love it, man. It was a good signing. Now, like I said, they started very, very slow. The trade for Rashawn Gary, I think he improves the defense, but he's not like he's not gonna be like a starter. I mean, he's probably going to start, but he's not going to be like a high-level elite guy, right? He's a good player, but not elite. So you still got to get other players. Edge is still a huge need, Mike. So now we did add another behemoth, like you said, Otito Obagnio. So he's another guy that we got here from the Chargers. A big behemoth, fucking fat as fuck. Triple cheeseburger, bro. Like he's gonna stuff it up. One tech, bro. What do you think about that addition there?
Oh yeah, Otito Obonia, J-Toa, step aside. The real UCLA product is coming in the building. All right. It gives you a sense of direction of what the Dallas Cowboys want to look like on your D line. He's the heaviest, 6'4", 320, Joe. And he could play 1 tech, 0 tech, 3 tech, and he could play all the way up to 4 tech. So anything on the between the guards and tackles, all the way up to the center, Joe. Nothing on the outside of the tackles, nothing on the outside of the tight ends. 0 through 4. is between the tackles and the guards on both sides, all the way to the middle. For the people that don't know, he can play anywhere on that, Joe. That straightens your D line to the max.
The defense, baby, upgraded, man.
So it is it is something to watch, right? They're adding a lot of players on defense, but still have a long way to go, Mike. Like the question right now is a linebacker, right? Everybody's kind of looking for that linebacker. They're looking under every rock now. I think it's safe to say that market has dried up. What we talked about this offline. What you're going to get now are the similar type of dudes that got last year. You know, at that level, you're looking at Kenneth Murray types, Jack Sanborn identity type of dudes, just guys that might be camp bodies. You know what I mean? So I'm not interested in it. You know what I mean? There's a couple of other players that are still out there, but a lot of the guys that that were talked about, they're gone, bro, and they were very expensive. Devin Lloyd, they were talking about him. He was super expensive. Alante Taylor, he was very expensive, cornerback, and
which I thought he would be. I talked about him last week as well, and I thought he would be bust the budget kind of guy, Joe.
Definitely a budget buster. Mike, did the Cowboys bust the budget as of right now?
No. I mean, they scratched the surface with Jalen Thompson. I think he was like the only free agent signed $10+ million APY since like 2020. Not good, Joe. Not good at all. This is the Cowboys' MO. We kind of expected this. We knew that what the Cowboys would look like, how aggressive would they be, and all the things. So, not surprised. But Jalen Thompson will be your biggest free agent addition for the remainder of the year.
We got breaking news here. Let's confirm this. Sam Howell, is this true? Fuck, if that's true, we're in business. Joe Milton can kick rocks. Let me see. Let's confirm it.
Oh, I just got Brock Hoffman just went to the Steelers.
Hoffman rejoins our boy Mike McCarthy. That happened there. Let's see what we got here, man. Come on. Breaking news, breaking left and right. I love it. I love this time of year, bro.
I'm not seeing anything on Sam Howell. Yep, I do now. Well, I don't know if that's a legit source. Okay, yeah, here we go. Adam Schefter. Former Eagles quarterback Sam Howell has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Cowboys.
Wait a minute. Did you say Schefter or Schefter?
I don't know. Schefter.
Well, because there's fake accounts that look close. Jeremy Fowler. Okay, yeah, 1-year deal. Sam Howell. So that's official.
Well, he has 11.5 million followers.
So it's official. Sam Howell is the quarterback, the backup. You can write it down. He's good, bro. I like Sam Howell, man. I like them coming out of. I think he came out of North Carolina, if I remember correctly.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Joe.
And was drafted by, I believe it was the Redskins originally, or was it the Seahawks? Anyway, good quarterback, dude. A good backup, dude. We're safe, bro. Like he can win you a couple of games. Mobile, good arm, has started games in this league and has won some games. So, Joe Milton, you're out of here, bro. Maybe to develop him, keep him on the practice squad, whatever it is. But what's your thoughts on that there, bro? Sam Howell, 1-year deal.
Yeah, I like it. He's coming in here. He was drafted for the Commanders in 2022 for North Carolina. Eagles. He was with the Eagles. He was with the Seahawks. Traded around, did some things. Schottenheimer said enough with Joe Milton. Bring in Sam Howell. We need some durability, some insurance. Joe Milton wasn't insurance. Joe Milton, Trey Lance was better than Joe Milton. It was a laughing stock. We traded a 5th-round pick for nothing.
For real.
And now Schottenheimer's, they're giving him the keys, it seems like, with these additions and these moves and this. I mean, from their last game all the way up to now, Schottenheimer has been driving this bus, it appears. And this move right here has Schottenheimer all over it.
Very, very interesting, bro. Very interesting indeed. Played with the Seahawks in 2024. When did we get Shotty?
We got Shotty. He was a consultant in 2022.
Okay. So he wasn't there with him, but he knows of him. He knows that we needed to get better there. Yeah, you're right, though, man. And he got that inside information, right? He says himself he still has a close relationship with Schneider over there at Seattle. Got inside information from his guy. I love it, man. This is a low-key, really good move for the Cowboys in case you have to protect yourself from an older, aging Dak Prescott. So protect yourself. We're building to make a playoff run. Anything less
is unacceptable.
All right, so I like it, bro. It's a good little pickup there. You know what I mean? So it's awesome. LA Lakers 17 super chat. Yeah, bro. Thank you for that super chat, man. It is a wild day here in Cowboys land. But yeah, man, just a lot going on, Mike. What is your other thoughts here as we look at free agency moving forward? What do you expect over the next couple of days here for the Cowboys?
Yeah, absolutely. First, I want to shout out LA Lakers 17. Light it up, people. You guys, we got a few people watching the show tonight. If 5 people right now can click like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people can click like, that'll help the stream greatly. Yes, Joe. Free agency, this Cowboys are doing typical things, but it ain't 1-year bridge players. Like we could talk about re-signing Sam Williams, but if you look at the Sam Williams contract, it's a 1-year prove it deal. 1 year, $3 million. PJ Locke, 1 year, $3 million. A lot of this is prove it. PJ Locke's been hurt. Sam Williams has been a knucklehead with speeding tickets early in his career, penalties, not really doing anything. There's no guaranteed lock for Sam Williams. Malik Hooker redoing his deal helps out the team. Terrence Steele redoing his deal helps out the team. They can let go of these guys next year if it doesn't work out this year, right? So Cowboys are protecting themselves, but yet getting some good rotation and getting some good starter pieces like Jalen Thomas or Rashawn Gary. Getting Obonia is a telltale sign that they want some bacon up front. They want some baconators, Joe. And that gives me a sense of calmness that I could trust Christian Parker a little bit without a snap being played. I know he wants some big guys up front. This is all just stepping stones, right? These additions that we did, these 4 and 5 additions now with Sam Howell, they're stepping stones to identify what this new coaching staff wants. And so far, I like it. It's not splashy. It's not big names, but we kind of get a direction of what they want to do.
That being said, Mike, is this more of the same, but just a little bit of a tweaking? Like, is this the same playbook the Cowboys have been running in free agency, or is it different?
It's the same, but it's also different because, and this is why, is because they got younger in some instances. They identified that Donovan Wilson and Y.A. Thomas really wasn't working out at that safety spot. They let him go. Old Jerry would have kept him. Y.A. Thomas would have got a restricted tender on him. They let him go. They brought in the safeties that Christian Parker wanted in Jalen Thompson and in PJ Locke. So they're identifying issues. Now there's talk about Osa, a guy that we just extended less than 365 days ago, is now in the talks of possibly getting traded because Christian Parker identifies that he don't fit with this team. So the keys are in their hands, and you can really visible see that. It's the same, but yet it's so different.
Yeah, it is. Is it, Jerry, running out of time? Is it getting older? Significantly older? Thinner? I think he knows, bro. I think he knows. He's getting down to it. He's getting down to it, man. So it wasn't an all-in move, but it is kind of a similar type of language if you think about it. You know, he was all in a couple seasons ago. They didn't go all in. This year was bust the budget. They didn't bust the budget. Bust the budget essentially is just another way to say all in, because if you're busting the budget, you're pushing the chips in and you're going all in, right? Like these guys that they supposedly were in on, but they missed on, they simply didn't put enough chips in to get them. You know what I mean? So while I think they tried, they missed. They didn't quite go all the way in. You know what I mean? So it is a little bit different, like you said. But a little bit more of the same coming from Jerry. You got to take everything with a grain of salt. But I do like the moves. Overall, I have to say I do like the moves. You know what I mean? Now, let's transition to where these moves lead us to the draft. All right. So how does this impact the draft, Mike? At 12. On the spot.
I mean,
who are you taking?
It sets you up, Joe. It sets you up perfectly to either go linebacker, Sonny Styles, or it sets you up to go end, right? You got Bain. You got some other guys that could fall to you at 12. Let me pull my top 100 up here. But it does set you up to either do edge or linebacker or possibly corner, right? I mean, you look at the Chiefs, they're ahead of you. Delane Mansour, the LSU corner, he's probably going to go to the Chiefs. I mean, that's the writing on the wall. But if you look at like Reuben Bain, David Bailey at 12, that sets you up if they happen to be there at 12. Sonny Styles, if he can somehow get to you at 12, that helps you out there as well. You got there's another name that's been floating around here. He's an edge. Gosh dang it, what's his name? Cassius Howell, the Texas A&M edge. You know, he could maybe you can go there at 20 if you wanted to. But you're looking at edge, you're looking at linebacker. Those three names that I initially said, and Reuben Bain, David Bailey, or Sonny Styles. That's going to be your 12th pick. One of those three names, and this free agency move set you up for that.
Yeah, I think not going after Crosby, and just they got Rashawn Gary now, right? You got him in the mix, but you still need another body. And I think I'll give you a name that I think is going to be on the Cowboys' radar at 12, and I think it's going to be Keldrick Falk out of Auburn. He's got the length, the size, but kind of a scary pick. You know what I mean? He can go anywhere from 12 to 20. But D-line, I think, immediately is still at the top of the list. I think at cornerback, they're going to be okay. I think it's not quite an urgent as it was before free agency. I think P.J. Locke gives you that versatility as far as safety in the box. It gives you another body there that's going to keep people, out of the shallow points of the zone, because he's going to go there and smash the crap out of you. And then you had Jalen Thompson as well. So I think we have some enforcers here now. Be physical. Cornerback, I don't know if it's going to be that high of a need. I think it's got to be edge. I think it's going to be the pick here, bro. Edge. And then later at 12, linebacker, bro. It's going to be whoever the hell the best one is there. It was C.J. Allen, Jacob Rodriguez. All right. Or Anthony Hill Jr. might be in the mix there as well. One of those guys at 20 could be in the mix for a linebacker, bro. They have to get another linebacker in here.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, we're saying the same thing, right? edge linebacker. That sets you up at 12 and 20. You talk about Falk. I got him as my 12th best player on the board here. I had I got him prototypical big end, massive frame and long arms, dominant against the run. That was my scouting report on him, Joe. You look at Falk. I mean, he could be there at 20. It just all depends on how they view him and where he goes, who's higher than him.
Yeah.
Or if you think he's the BPA, get him there at 12. But there is a lot of big ends here. 6'6". I mean, he's 6'6", 275. Massive end.
Yeah. No, he's definitely there. You know what I mean? Some people aren't high on him. Some people are. I can kind of see the pros and cons. Some people see Taco. Some people see somebody with potential. So kind of a riskier type of player. Cassius Howell, I like him. He obviously would be an outside linebacker, but probably doesn't meet the Cowboys' threshold with the arms being as short as they are. Ruben Bain could be a guy that might fall a little bit. Do they bend the rules of their metrics and take him? Because he is a player. He's a menace to society. I would consider him a 12 if he were there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Bain, he got heavy hands, bro.
Let me ask you this. Safety. Yeah, let's talk about that. Right? So we added some safeties here. Does that stop you from taking Warren or Dylan? Are they probably off the board, or do you think the Cowboys might still take one of those safeties?
I think with Malik Hooker having 1 year left on his deal, I think you need some reassurance there. If you want some insurance policy for next year, team him up with Jalen Thompson. So if you're looking at Malik Hooker in this system and you think that he can live or die in this system, Cowboys can draft safety here and have some reassurance for next year, or possibly bench or trade Malik Hooker in midseason if the new acquired safety is exceeding all expectations.
Yeah, man. For me, they're probably off. I think not only do they not really like to draft safeties in the first round anyway, but now that you've kind of added two in the mix, although I think Locke, could be a little bit of a different type of safety for you. He could be like a nickel guy, I think, for you. I mean, so could Jalen Thompson. I think they're both kind of interchangeable in a strange kind of way. But yeah, I would be surprised now if they were to take a safety. Dylan, who is everything that I think he's going to be, he's going to go in the teens probably. And McNeil Warren out of Toledo as well. So I would be surprised if they win safety. So for me, Cowboys draft needs edge and linebacker are at the top. What about this, Mike? The wide receivers, all right? If there's one there at 20 sitting there, and let's say you get your edge rusher, your pass rusher guy, and you're happy with it. Maybe it's Bain or whomever it is. And then you get kind of wiped out between 12 and 20, and you can't trade down. And there's some receivers there. You have Pickens on a 1-year deal. I honestly, I don't see them extending him. I think they're just going to rent him, let him walk, pick up the third-round compensatory pick 2027. So then you're in need of another wide receiver. Do they get ahead of that need and draft one here in the first round, Mike, possibly?
The only wide receiver I would want, because you know me, Joe, I like height. I like big frame wide receivers. I've been very consistent on that right here on the Frisco Report. Denzel Boston out of Washington, 6'4", 205. Massive catch radius, a 50-50 ball specialist, and a dominant red zone weapon, Joe. Denzel Boston.
That's the name. That's the one for me as well. Makai Lemon, too short, too small. Cowboys won't take an early pick on a player like that. Bombed his interviews at the combine. You see his interviews. He looked weird, bro. I don't know if he was high or what the hell it was. Okay, and then you got Jordan Tyson, always injured, always hurt. I don't want that. All right. And then you got Carnell Tate would be the other one that I might consider, but I don't know if he makes it to 20. You know, I think he might be the first receiver off the board, Carnell Tate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's the smartest wide receiver in the draft class. His football IQ is beyond this world, dude.
Yeah, those Ohio State receivers come out well polished. They have probably the best wide receiver coach in the nation there. You know what I mean? And then they always come out ready to rock and roll. So could be the first one off the board. But wouldn't it be something that we need to keep an eye on? An offensive player could come out of nowhere and get drafted by the Cowboys. You know, what does the board look like? You know what I mean? That is going to be the key here. Because right now it's been all defense, and rightfully so, Mike. We definitely need defense. You know, we're still shorthanded. So those two picks, I wouldn't even mind double dipping on edge. You know, give me Bane, give me somebody, and then give me another dude, another edge. You know, just keep throwing the numbers because I don't think Donovan Ezerako is going to be ready, bro. They're saying, you know, he's going to miss camp. They're probably not going to play him in the damn preseason. They're going to bubble wrap him. And then maybe he starts on PUP, bro. So I need weapons. I need edge rushers, Mike.
Yeah, we have to do something here. And the Cowboys set themselves up here. Obviously, you only got 3 edge rushers, Ezeraku, Gary, and you got Sam Williams. So this opens you up to identify that end early or in 20. It has to be an end between, unless something crazy happens. Apparently, Hendrickson is supposed to make his mind up tomorrow, like he's some big time shot. But anyway, and then obviously you have to do something with linebacker because you have to have two good solid linebackers. Who's going to pair up with Overshown? So that's a big deal as well, especially if they're going to run a 4-2-5 nickel base. You have to have 2 solid, good linebackers. I'm talking Jalen Smith when he was good for that 1 year and LVE when he was good for that 1 year. Like you need those 2 duos of linebackers.
No, that's exactly what they need. They need that. You know what I mean? Guys that are going to pursue and stop you in your tracks. Get tackles for losses. You know, we have not had that for feels like a decade now. So yeah, get that guy, man. Get one of those linebackers. If Sonny Styles were to fall to you, that would be phenomenal. But after what he did in the combine and this and that, the pro day is gonna be probably crazy too. So he's probably gonna go early. So we're probably looking at one of these other guys, and CJ Allen is still a guy that would be a really good addition here. Cowboys have a Georgia coach here at the linebacker coach position now, so he'll probably be pounding the table for his player there, CJ Allen. Give him to me. You know what I mean?
With him being 6'1" in the NFL, playing that with big guards, big tackles, point of attack. Obviously, he did well at Georgia. Right, I mean, high IQ thumper, heartbeat of the defense, elite downhill play recognition. But does the 6'1" size scare you? And where do you put him at the linebacker position?
No, no, that wouldn't scare me. I want to say that Nakobe Dean he's about the same size. I mean, he wasn't that big of a dude.
And Nakobe Dean can't stay healthy.
He can't stay healthy, and then that's why he fell. He came into the league already banged up and had a lot of medical injuries. So, no, I think he would be fine. You know, especially we're getting bigger here now. We're going to have the behemoth blocking up front, and we should be able to play a lot better now. Yeah, Nakobe Dean, not even 6 foot. He's like 5'11". So, you know, I think Christian Parker knows as well what can succeed in this league. Georgia linebacker coach, knows him. So he would be in play. Anthony Hill Jr. would be in play. Although he didn't have the best combine, he's probably going to have to really knock it out the park at the pro day. So if it were me, it's probably something like this, like CJ Allen, Jacob Rodriguez, and then everybody else. Or it might even be Jacob Rodriguez, CJ Allen, and then everybody else. That's a combination of those two are probably the cream of the crop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And teams need linebackers. You know what I mean? A lot of us are thinking, oh, we'll trade down to the bottom of the first round and one of those guys will be there. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? They're a need, and you need leaders. A lot of linebackers that are really good can elevate their team. We've seen linebackers that are of that type able to pick everybody up around them. So they are a need. They could go, before the end of the first round. I wouldn't be surprised, Mike.
No, it's going to be interesting. I was going to do like some scenarios on us, like who can, like out of 100 mock drafts, right? Who can the Cowboys pick? And I did it before free agency, and we were projected Delane, and then we were projected Cassius Howell. So that was before free agency. Now I got to do another 100 mock drafts and do the average after free agency. So next week I'll talk about that here on the Frisk Report to see what it looks like now and see what type of players are going where after this free agency and see what we can do. Just an average of that. So we'll see.
Yeah, cornerback could definitely be in play. You know what I mean? If they're high on their board, it could be Monsoor Delane. It could also be Avion Terrell, who I hear the Cowboys really liked him. He had a really good interview with the Cowboys. They're very high on him. The Clemson cornerback, somebody that can play on the outside and can give them some nickel play as well. So I think they like his versatility. Avion Terrell, his brother AJ Terrell is also in the league. Pretty good cornerback. So there's the bloodlines there for him. And so yeah, man, cornerback could be in the mix still as well. You just never know.
Yes, and Joe, I'm going to say this: with the addition of PJ Locke being 5'10" as a safety, that lets me know that if you can play, you can get picked. If you look at their sizes, their measurables, and your secondary, it ain't the old school Rod Marinelli, Dan Quinn, Chris Richard, 6 foot or bigger regarding safety and corner. With PJ Locke being 5'10", him coming in here, anybody that's good enough can be a Cowboy.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if that translates into the draft picks, right? As far as like, will they bend on the metrics and get guys that don't quite have the longest arms, the tallest dudes? You know what I mean? So that would really help them in the nickel position because a lot of some of the better nickel cornerbacks, they are under 6 foot. They're good. Chandler Rivers, he's probably my favorite guy that would be an instant starter for you at the nickel position if they were to draft him. And but being 5'9" and 170, 180 is probably not something that's high on McBust's list. But I like him, dude. I think he would do great. And Jordan Lewis was not the tallest cornerback either. You know what I mean? And they made that work. They regret letting him go. I wish we still had him. But yeah. Nickel cornerback probably still high on their list.
It has to be, Joe. And with knowing that Jalen Thompson can play some nickel, they're taking that seriously, and that doesn't necessarily take them out of drafting a nickel either. Because if they view a nickel going down, and they view Jalen Thompson doing that, obviously they're taking nickel more serious.
Oh, yeah, absolutely right. And yeah, Parker's had an opportunity now since he's been here to evaluate. Even some of the other guys still on the team, like Kalen Carson. Some of these other guys, are they reliable? Or do they have the dog in them? Some of them don't, bro. So he's gonna put his own thumbprint on this. There's no doubt about it. And some of these guys that started for us in the past will be backups. And that's what needs to happen, dude. We gotta improve that defense and get back into contention.
Yeah, they have to do something. I made a video yesterday, Joe, talking about how if the Cowboys don't start winning, they will lose an entire generation of fans. You're already seeing the Chief bandwagons. You're already seeing, Patriots already been on the bandwagon, winning like they were the past 10 years when Brady was there. They have to capitalize and start going to an NFC championship game, and then we could talk about Super Bowl. But they have to make something that they have to win a divisional playoff round first.
They have to, bro. They have to. They really have to turn around, bro. They need to clinch. You know what I mean? They need to fend off Harbaugh and the Giants because they're going to get better. Harbaugh's a good coach. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about that. So there's going to be a minefield. It's going to be a tough season. So all hands on deck, bro. We got to hit on these draft picks. No more of the bull crap. Now, Jerry said that they weren't going to take any more of these red shirt type of players. Do you trust him with that?
Trust who?
Jerry Jizones.
No, I think Jerry. I think the entire Jones family is out of touch with reality, and they tried to get a lot of players in this free agency, and they missed. You know why they missed, Joe? Because they don't know how to do it. They haven't done it in so long. They don't have the repetition. They don't have the experience because they don't do it. I can't walk up to any job that I don't know and think I'm going to do a good job. They know how to do in-house contracts. But when it comes to recruit the externals, either they get the bad guy on the bad contract, like 2020 when we had that corner from the Eagles, can't think of his name, and we had Dontarian Poe. I mean, they tried it and they got all the wrong names, Joe. And then it scared them away for 6 years. Now they're trying to dip back into it, and they don't know how to do it. They lost Nakobe Dean because Nakobe Dean had a gut feeling that the Raiders would be better than the Cowboys in the duration of his contract. How crazy is that? They have to be able to make contracts, to sell the potential Cowboy players to want to play here. Remember, it was, you got the star. You can do TV when you get done. You got no taxes, no state taxes. You got all. None of that matters if you're not winning. And the Cowboys have not been winning. The NFL TikTok page did a video at the Combine, and they asked, has America's team talked to you? And half of those players in that draft did not know who America's team is. That's how out of touch we are with reality, Joe. But in the Jones' head, everybody knows us. Not anymore.
Yeah, well said. Good points there, especially with the repetition, man. It is something to really bring to the attention of a fan, because if you're not doing it, you don't have the skill for it, right? It's the same problem with them not drafting a quarterback. They might end up drafting one in the first round, and they may end up being a total bust because, just like you said, they haven't been doing it. They haven't been trying. They've been using fifths and sevenths and all this other crap on quarterbacks, but they haven't had one in the first round since '89. So that's the other part of it. Repetition, practice matters, and it's like an exercise. They don't do it. And I think you hit it right on the head, Mike. There, honestly, that's really good comparison.
Yeah, for sure, brother. I've been thinking about this stuff for 2 weeks.
outstanding, bro. I mean, you know, a lot of this, the league year officially starts tomorrow, Wednesday, right? So all these deals, they become official. They have to be under the cap or in compliance by, what is it, 4 p.m. Eastern time or some crap like that. So, we'll see if there's any other moves to be made. But I think I think they're done. I don't think we're going to see any of the big splashes. It'll be the McClay reclamation project time, baby. So
Yeah.
and maybe not even that, bro. Maybe they are done there, and now they'll get, they got to sign their own guys, right? So we'll see what happens there. Is there any of their free agents that you think that they will resign, Mike, or is everybody who's our free agents they're going to just let walk out the door?
I think they're going to let him walk out the door, Joe. I don't think there's anybody that the Cowboys need that they haven't already replaced. Right?
Oh.
I mean, if you want to go like Dante Fowler, you want to bring him back in for some camp body reassurance just in case somebody goes down. I mean, you can. There, Donovan Wilson's already gone. Wanye Thomas, they already said no to them. They already replaced them. Brock Hoffman's already gone. There's really not a lot of these players that they want to keep, and if they did, they would have done it by now, I think.
I got a name for you. What about
Sam Williams, bro? Why, bro?
Why did they bring Sam Williams back, bro?
I don't know. I don't see it, dude. I maybe it's the special teams. I mean, he had a block punt against the Cardinals. Marshawn Nealon, went in and took it in for a touchdown. But it's a 1-year, $3 million deal. So if he comes in here with knucklehead BS, they can cut him. It's no harm, no foul. Yeah. So it's really up to Sam Williams if he really wants to do this or not. If he don't want to do it, then you can cut him.
I think at the end of the day, he will be just a camp body. At that price, the writing's on the wall, bro. Like, you either have a miraculous turnaround or you're cut at the 53-man roster cuts, man. You know what I mean? So he'll get playing time in the preseason. And, what's going to happen, dude. In training camp, he's turning heads, outside linebacker, sacking Dak and this and that. And then when the games come up, dude, Knucklehead City, bro. 1st and 15. First and 10, 15-yard penalty. I don't know why I really honestly don't know why they brought him back. He's not any good, man.
No, he's not.
What was it? Bobby Belt had the tweet about 9. What was it?
9.5 sacks and 9 personal foul penalties.
Yeah, that stat line made me cry. That made me laugh, but it was sad too. It's like, that's terrible, man. So that's one that surprised me. I have to say, I couldn't believe it, dude. But it is what it is.
Yeah, we were on the phone talking last night when that came through.
Yeah, man. So they brought him back, but yeah, it doesn't look like I don't know if any of these other guys get brought back. They might bring some people back for special teams, that kind of deal. But major splashes, Mike, are they done? You think they're done?
Oh yeah, I think and you're barely above water with it, but your last ditch effort on Trey Hendricks will be tomorrow. But I think that ship done sailed. I would be shocked, Joe, if we got Trey Hendricks in this. I mean, that's the last big ticket free agent. Wallen went to the Eagles. I mean, he was another corner that you could have signed there, but they didn't. But and they had opportunities too, Joe, and they didn't. So that tells me that the budget, they did it, but it was for one player, Jalen Thompson.
That was it. And Jalen Thompson was the big ticket free agent for the Dallas Cowboys 2026 season. Maybe they make some trade. Maybe they use one of those. They have 3/5 now. The compensatory picks officially came out. We already kind of knew it, but it was made official yesterday. So we have 3 5th-rounders. So maybe they can flip one of those for, a linebacker or somebody off somebody else's team. A 5th-rounder is pretty decent. You know what I mean? Like you can get a decent player for a 5th-rounder. So maybe that's the route that they go, Mike. Maybe they use a 5th to get their linebacker, or maybe a cornerback off somebody's roster. One of those might be in play. Maybe not free agency, but maybe another trade.
Yeah, you could see that. And again, Osa could be your ticket to a linebacker. There's Osa's going to want to be looked at. It's just at what price, what player. So many different scenarios. No one really truly knows. But you have draft picks still. You got players. I'm on the bandwagon of don't use any more draft equity. You need all you can get there. You don't have a second and a third. You got a lot of picks in day 3. You need to make them all count.
Yes. I like this trade idea by Ancestor Kyle. Trade Osa and a 5th for a peanut butter sandwich.
No jelly? You got to have some jelly.
That. I like that,
or is
bro.
Osa not good enough for jelly?
Might not be, bro. Might not.
You like jam or jelly?
I prefer jam.
What's your flavor?
Strawberry. Strawberry jam, dude. I like that trade idea, bro. It's a good one.
You ever tried jalapeno jam?
I did. I tried one. It was actually made by Tabasco. But then I looked at the ingredients. Artificial crap, bro. It was like not even, I don't know what it was. It was like some formaldehyde or some shit like that. I was like, dude, this is like legit not good for you. So I threw it away.
I had some homemade jalapeno jam from Mennonites, and it was really good, all natural.
Yeah, bro. Free agency frenzy, I think pretty much came and went. Obviously we'll see what happens the rest of the week. Maybe they surprise us. Maybe there's another crazy trade up their sleeve, up their wizard sleeve. We'll see. And and we'll see what happens. And definitely, we're jumping right back into the draft after free agency frenzy in Mock Draft Central, bro. We'll be right back at it. We'll talk about the names that will start to arise. Pro days are coming. They're now. 30 visits are already happening. The 30 visits are up and running here. We saw Jeremiah Love. He already met with the Chiefs, my boy. Who have the Cowboys met with thus far? 30 visits. Dallas Day is coming up as well. So these names will start to leak out. We'll be here to talk about it with you guys and, develop some more mock drafts. They kind of focus in on what the Cowboys draft targets are now, Mike.
Yeah, we got to zone in on that and fill you guys in. We're going to have 6 shows up until the draft to cover it all. And then I'm sure we'll be doing our annual day 1 live stream. I don't know if we'll do a day 2 because we don't got any dang picks, but
oh yeah, that's always fun. It's always a good time when we do day 1 of the NFL draft live. It's a great time. The intrigue, and we have 2 first-round picks to top it off, Mike. So we get to be here. I mean, we did all 32 picks, bro, because you never know who can jump back in at the end of the first round. Do the Cowboys trade back and pick up a day 3 pick? That would be perfect, bro.
Yeah, they got to do something.
Yeah, that would be something else, bro. Mike, it's early, but what would you give, and everybody in the chat, everybody in the comment, what grade would you give the Cowboys free agency thus far?
Yeah. Let me give him a C+, Joe.
Yeah, I think that's fair, bro. You know, I wouldn't want to go overboard. Obviously, some people will be like, hey, A+ and this kind of crap. The homers. All right. So gotta keep it real, bro. I think C+ to B- is kind of my range as far as what the Cowboys have done. Overall, I've liked what they've done. There wasn't like any of these guys outside of Sam Williams, but external guys. I like what they did with Sean Gary. I like what they did with Jalen Thompson, PJ Locke, and the Behemoths.
Yeah, no, they did good. They did good. It's a C+ for me. I mean, they did what the Cowboys normally do, but they got some good rotation. They got some good insurance. You're set up perfectly for the draft to come in here and do something. I mean, it's typical Cowboys. But they signed somebody more than a year in Jalen Thompson, so you gotta like that.
Yeah, it really was. It really was still the same playbook. Well, we'll see what kind of catchphrase old Jerry comes up with next season, but whatever it is, it's lies. All right. So that's it for tonight's show, Mike. Appreciate everybody in the chat box. Make sure you guys pound that like button if you're watching on the replay, or if you're here hanging out with us live, hit that like button for us. Share it out. Do appreciate it, Mike. Let everybody know where they can find you at, bro, if they haven't already.
No, I appreciate all the comments. I mean, the comments was active today. Appreciate that super chat that we got. You guys click like Joe said. Cowboys Corner right here on YouTube, _ Cowboys Corner on Twitter. Follow me, subscribe. I'm trying to push out more content. I did 2 videos plus a live, so I'm 3 videos in 2 days. I'm trying to just be more open-minded and to talk about these Cowboys and get back into the groove of things. I did get burnt out over the last couple of years, but I'm trying to find this spark and get this back. So subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a Frisco report, you don't miss a Talking Crazy, and you don't miss it when I drop a video.
I want me some glory hole.
Oh, bro, I'm low-key faded, bro.
You know what time it is, baby. You know what time it is. That's all we have tonight, guys. Thank you again. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you for the next one, guys. Peace out.